The second half of a bluegrass banjo is dedicated to songs. I selected about a dozen songs for this book that represent a good cross-section of the repertoire you could use when you play at an informal jam session at a bluegrass festival, and you may hear these songs even on the stage. If you could just get one or two of these songs in your back pocket when you go to the festival, you should be able to fit in really nice with any jam session that you'll find over there. Now what I'd like to do is take these songs one at a time as they're presented in the book. I would like to mention that these songs are not placed in the book from, say, easiest to the hardest. They're rather mixed up, more like, they're presented more like the way you would present them at a, say, a performance. If you were to actually put on a show, you may want to start with the first one, like Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms, and then go to the next one and just keep moving right on down the line. I laid those out like a performance rather than just easiest to the hardest song. Several of the songs will have backup, and we're going to talk about that. And we'll just start with the first one, the Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms, and I'm going to go through each part with you, the different sections, and also the backup, but you still want to follow along with your book and use the audio recording, the play-along recordings, to get the most benefit from this material. Because if you play along with the audio, if you have it on a CD, it will keep your timing real nice and smooth. It'll also train your ear to hear the changes and also how to play your banjo along when you hear the vocalist in there. Because when you go to a festival, a jam session, they're going to be singing. Life is not just the banjo. Bluegrass music is a coordinated effort between a singer, a banjo player, guitars, mandolin, upright bass, or maybe a bass guitar. Sometimes you see those there, a dobro. There's a variety of elements that go well together, like a puzzle, pieces of a puzzle, to make a good bluegrass song. So I think you'll enjoy this next section, and let's get started. The first song we want to start with is Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms. I'm going to just go through the first part so you can kind of hear how this goes, and then we'll break it up and start working on it piece by piece. Okay, now that's the basic solo. I'm on page 60. This is Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms. The measures, actually the beginning of each line has a measured number. You'll see a small number 1 there, and that will be measure 1. So let's take a look at that first line. I would probably consider that the first phrase. The first measure is a forward reverse roll, if you remember that. And it uses a slide and a reverse slide. So I'm sliding 2 to 3, and I pluck that with a thumb on the 3rd string, and then 2nd string, middle on the 1st string, thumb on the 5th, like this. Then it does the reverse, middle on the 1st, 2nd string open, and then I've got a 3 to 2 slide backwards on the 3rd string. And then I finish up with middle finger on the 1st string. So here's the measure 1 again. Measure 2 is a little bit like an alternating roll. Thumb plays the 3rd string open, index plays the 2nd string open, and then reach down, push down on the 2nd fret, 4th string, play that with the thumb, and then middle finger on the 1st string. Sounds like this. Then thumb goes up to the 5th string. Then you're going to have another slide, 2 to 3, and pluck the 3rd string there with your index right hand finger. Like that. Thumb on the 5th, 2 to 3 slide, and then middle finger on the open 1st string. And then finish that up by playing an open 5th string at the top. So measure number 2 is like this again. Now, if we put measure 1 and measure 2 together, it will sound like this. And by the way, that 3 to 2 slide on measure 1, you could use a pull-off, as I mentioned earlier. I like the pull-off, it's nice and snappy sounding. Let me try that with the pull-off. Now, measure 3 is the G lick. You may remember that from our earlier studies. That's 3rd string on 3rd string open, played by the thumb. Middle finger plays the 1st string. Thumb plays the 5th string. Then you're going to do another slide 2 to 3 on the 3rd string and pluck that with the index. Middle on the 1st string. Then index on the 3rd. And then reach over, push down on 2nd fret, 4th string. Play that with the thumb. And then middle on the 1st string, open. That's that G lick number 1 we did earlier. And then measure 4 is a basic rhythm. Thumb on the 3rd, pinch, index, or you could use your thumb, I guess, on 2nd string, and pinch. So here's measure 3 and 4. One more time. Now here's measures 1 through 4, the first line. That is a lot of notes to get started with. Take your time. Don't rush this. If you have to, just do one measure for the whole day. Just work on that, maybe that opening statement. Until it feels comfortable to you. And then maybe the next day work on the next measure. And the next day try to put those together without the book. Try not to look at it. Try to remember the feel in both of your hands. Also, as you start to get the feel for this arrangement, you'll notice the bold letters. Those are the ones that are a little larger, a little thicker and darker. That's the melody. Don't worry about that right now. Right now you just want to learn the notes and get the basic feel for this solo in both of your hands. And then after you feel comfortable with that, put those accents. Let me play this for you without the accents, and then I'll do it with the accents so you can hear the difference, okay? This is the first 4 measures to Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms, no accents. Listen to this. Now I'm going to accent or push the note a little harder where those bold letters are representing the right hand. Ready? Do you hear the little extra push? What we're trying to do is help the melody to Roll on My Sweet Baby's Arms surface a little bit more. And it does make your banjo playing sound just a bit more professional by having accents. But again, don't worry about those right away. The main thing is to get a smooth flow, nice even timing, and rhythm with your right hand, and good clean sound with your left hand. Okay, let's take a look at the next line, starting with measure number 5. Nice part here is we're going to get some repeats. Measure 5 is like measure 1. So if you know measure 1, I don't need to really re-explain that. Measure 5 is your G lick 1 again. Now, measure 7 is a D lick. I believe that was D lick 1 we did. You pick the open 4th string, and then you've got a hammer 2 to 3 on 2nd string, and I'm playing that with the index finger, right hand index. Then middle finger plays the 1st string to match that. And then you leave those fingers down on the left hand and go thumb on the 5th, index on the middle finger on the 1st, and then thumb back on the 5th. And the measure number 8 is the Foggy Mountain lick. That's where we hammer 2 to 3 on the 2nd string, pluck that with the index finger, and then middle finger plays 1st string open. Thumb comes down to 2nd string and does another hammer, and then your middle plays another open 1st string. Leave those fingers down on the left hand and go thumb on 5th, index on middle, or 2nd string, and then your middle finger on the 1st string, and thumb on the 5th string. So measure 8 is if I put measure 7 and 8 together, we have that D lick, number 1. Here's measures 5 through 8, slowly. And again. Now, I'm going to put together measures 1 through 8 slowly so you can see how this is going to start falling together. 1 through 8. Measure 9 starts out all open strings, thumb on the 3rd string. That's a quarter note, so you want to hold that just a little bit. Thumb on 5th, index on the 3rd, middle on the 1st, index goes to 3rd, thumb to the 4th, middle on the 1st. Measure 9. Measure 10 is pretty straightforward. It's the alternating roll with a slide to start that off. We go 2 to 3 slide. 2 to 3 slide, I'm playing that with the thumb. Then index plays the 2nd string open. thumb plays the 5th string, middle plays the 1st. And you do that again. So a total of 2 times. This is measure 10. Now let me go ahead and put together measures 9 and 10. Here we go. Slowly. Measure 11 now goes to the C chord. Now, we've played the C chord with 3 fingers. What I like to do when you have to grab a chord fast, like a C chord, I usually put the first finger that's necessary right away down that. In this case, it's going to be first finger, first fret, 2nd string. And then I'll add my 3rd, and then later I'll be using the 2nd. So, measure 11 sounds like this. That's a little different there. What's happening, I have the first finger, 2nd string, 1st fret. I play that with the index finger. And then the thumb goes up to the 5th string open. Index plays the 2nd string again. Index finger is still staying down. I put my 3rd finger down on 2nd fret of the 1st string. Play that with the middle finger on the right hand. Come back to index on the 2nd string. Then put your 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. That's a little different. That's actually called an A minor chord, believe it or not. It's a different chord, but we need that 2nd fret, 3rd string note for melody. And you play that with the thumb, and then you finish that measure with the middle finger on the 1st string. So here's measure 11 again. Now, leave your index and leave your 3rd fingers down. You'll pick up the 2nd finger and you'll play the 4th string open with the thumb and then hammer down that 2nd finger at the 2nd fret, 4th string. That index plays the 2nd string, middle plays the 1st, thumb plays the 5th, middle plays the 1st, index plays the 2nd, thumb plays the 4th, and then middle plays the 1st string again. That's more or less a forward reverse roll with a C chord and a hammer on. This is measure 12. Now here's measure 11 and 12 together. Now, I'm going to go back to measure 9, and I'm going to put together measure 9 through 12. Now, here is measures 1 through 12.